And I think that all right, let's try it again. Let's try it again. Let's try.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
You can hear me now. What was it?
Okay. You said what?
What was it?
What was what?
Why couldn't you hear me? How'd you fix it?
I don't know. Patty texted me and said to go out and go back in, so that's what I did.
Okay, well, welcome to the shop. How you doing? How's Atlanta treating you?
Hey, I'm good. I can't complain. How are you?
I appreciate you coming in this evening, and
Having me.
yeah, thank you. And so we got a few people in here, and why Six the Goddess? Then why the name Six the Goddess?
Six is my nickname from back home. I got the name when I was 16, going to the club with a fake ID. And it was this old homeless guy sitting by the railroad track, and me and my friends was walking past. And he looked at me and he said, He said, girl, you a tall drink of water. He said, what, you about 6 foot? He said, girl, you a 6-footer. So my friends was laughing, and after that would always joke and be like 6-footer, 6 foot. And so then it got shortened to Six, and it just kind of became my hometown nickname. And then I just stuck with it, and then just Goddess, because that's what I am.
Where's home and where's your hometown? I mean,
I'm from that 407, Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida. Okay. Why the move to Atlanta then? Are you in Atlanta, by the way?
You said what? I'm sorry.
You're in Atlanta, correct?
Yeah. Orlando is a city for retirement and vacation. And so the energy there is, the energy of people going there to die or to chill. And it was affecting me. I hated I wanted to be somewhere where people were getting to it, not where they come to chill on vacation or to die. And so, I'm blackity black, and I wanted to be, I'm like, where is the blackest city I can move to? And it was Atlanta. So here I am.
Did you consider Harlem at all, or?
Oh, no.
No?
No, I'm a country girl. I can't do all that.
Harlem is too much. And you said femininity, right? And I was real intrigued by that word that you use. And what is femininity? Did I say it correctly?
Femininity is what makes me different from you.
Okay.
Yeah, femininity. You got to kind of say it slow. Femininity. You got to really break it down.
Okay.
It's what makes me different from you. Mm-hmm. It's everything that makes a woman different from a man is her femininity. It's everything that is the opposite of men. So if the man is hard, she's soft. If he's rough, she's smooth. So it's the essence of women.
And what are some attributes of that essence?
Going with the flow, being a positive vibe wherever you are. Like when a feminine lady is present, it should just make the atmosphere better. When she's there, it definitely shouldn't be something that you dread or something that puts a darkness over. It should always be a good vibe. It's the understanding, it's intelligence, it's observation, it's compliments, it's cooperative, it's supportive, it's nurturing. So,
when did you
everything nice?
when did you walk into your feminine? Obviously, you had it since birth, but when did you see it as an asset?
I wouldn't say that there was a particular aha moment.
Sure.
I would say that it's something that you're kind of aware of as a woman. I feel like we're definitely born as female, but as Black women, we are not necessarily born in our femininity because too many times our environment doesn't necessarily allow for that. Mm-hmm. So it definitely is something that we have to cultivate, but I would say it was gradual. I would say within the past 5 or 6 years or so, is when I really started to fall in love with it, embrace it, learn more about it, and just implement it more in my everyday life and my relationships.
Hmm. How would you characterize an alpha female, or is there such thing as an alpha female?
A woman can be alpha amongst other women, but she can't be alpha amongst men.
Explain.
Um,
I'm gonna tell you what I had
she's the Beyonce. She's the Beyonce. Other women, when she's in an environment around other women, they'll tend to look to her for influence or direction. They'll tend to follow her lead, or they'll tend to look to her for direction. She'll dominate in a way amongst other women, because just like men have a hierarchy amongst each other, women, we have the same thing, and we determine that based upon things differently than what men determine it amongst each other. But amongst women, we know the alpha and who's not amongst women. Like I said, she's the Beyonce. She's the it girl. The it girl is, the alpha female most of the time. She has the most influence over other women around her. But amongst men, that doesn't exist. She can be that amongst her peers, her equals. You can only be alpha amongst your equal. So if men and women are not equal, I can't be alpha amongst the men, but I can be alpha amongst other women. A woman can be alpha amongst women.
How do you define submissive then? Because that's the buzzword, right? Men be submissive. Women be submissive to your man. And how does that femininity attach itself to the word submissive?
Submission is just simply a woman's reaction to male leadership. So it's really of a matter of how he leads and how she follows. It's simply a reaction. I think people overthink it. I don't think it's that complicated, nor do I think that it's something that takes away from you as a woman. Imagine if you had a pilot and a co-pilot, and every time the pilot gave a direction, the co-pilot was like, well, why do we have to go that way? You'd never get to where you're going. It would be frustrating. It would take forever. So women that embrace their submissiveness automatically kind of embrace their femininity as well, because a feminine woman constantly looks for ways to make her life easier. She's not competitive in that form to where it's like, I want to find the quickest route. She's like, listen, I don't care. Let me put my feet up. Long as we get there, I'm good. She's not competing for that leadership is all.
How do you sit in that comfort space? Like it seems like it's challenging just from just being a human. I've never lived as a woman, but just being human, how do you sit still in those moments of like where like you feel like the man is sliding in the opposite direction?
You gotta just be rolling with a man you trust. You trust them. I mean, you just, I don't know how to explain it. You have to be with a man you trust. That way, it may not be the route that you may have taken, but he's going to get you there. So it's a trust thing. That's all.
How do you pull out these characteristics in men?
The more feminine you are, you fall back. This is my famous move. My famous move is this. You want to see it again? That's how you do it. Oh. And men are selfish and men are competitive. Sure. So you make the space, and because he don't want to look bad. And that's where we get confused. Not necessarily because men care for women the way we care for men, but because he don't want to look bad. But because he don't want to look like he dropped the ball. When he gonna step in, because now it's like, if I don't, so that's how you get him to do it. You fall back, he fall forward. So.
How do you navigate that on the first date? All these great feminine qualities. How do you navigate that?
Show up and look good and be quiet and let him talk.
Really? It's that easy?
Look good. Look good. Look good. You look good. And now he's sitting there, and now he want to talk, because now he want to explain why he should get a second date. So now he's telling you about his upbringing and his career path and how he got there and his plans. So you sit back and look good and be quiet, eat, sip your wine, laugh.
So, I completely understand where you're coming from. How do you make it non-competitive though?
Look good. You feminine women gotta look good every day, every second of every day. You gotta look good. Long as you sit there and you looking good, that's all you have to do. Do less. Do less. That's gonna make him do everything he need to do.
I think that's interesting. Do less. Talk about that. Do less.
Do less. That's how feminine women compete. We compete not career-wise or money-wise. We compete with how good we can look and how much we can be quiet.
I love that.
And you get more. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I don't know. Less is more.
When did you have you feel like you've mastered it? Is there such a thing as mastering your femininity, or is it forever growing?
I think of course it's always getting better. Just like people that make cars. They might make a great car in the year 2018. And it might be wonderful, but then in 2021, they're constantly going to upgrade it. They're constantly going to add new features, but they still have the blueprint down on how to construct the vehicle. So, you know, you definitely can master the construction and cultivation of your femininity. But like anything else, of course, there's always, you know, room for upgrades for it.
Is there roles? Are there roles in relationship, or is it everything fluid?
Oh, there's definitely roles.
Explain that, please.
Can you give birth?
Great question. No.
Do your breasts produce milk?
No.
I guess we don't have a choice on whether there's roles. I guess God decided.
It's do you ever like for you? Do you ever think like men are seeing that as a weakness?
Only feminine men that need women to lead them do. Because then how come you're not helping me? Masculine men are the opposite. They're like, stay out of my way. You have masculine men want the woman to stay out their way. Feminine men are like, help me. So no. Masculine men are like, please get out of my way. Cannot is chief. It's got to be a chief and Indian here. It cannot be. Feminine men are looking at you like, what should we do? So those are the differences. Not all men are the same. That's why feminine women can only coexist in peace with very masculine men, because if it's a feminine woman with a feminine man, something go left. The man looking at her and she looking at him, and y'all looking stupid looking at each other. So feminine women have to be with a masculine man, because she's never, ever going to overstep that boundary and do your job for you. She's always... And which means that a man will win sometime, he'll fail sometime. So in the same breath, a feminine woman definitely steps back and allows the man to lead. But she also doesn't come down on him if the leadership don't go right, because leadership is hard. Sometimes it means, yes, you get on to say so, but it also means that if things don't go right, you also get that blame. So feminine women know how to fall back and never, ever take that from him, while still, whether it goes good or bad, still being supportive and not, you know, beating him up for it.
How do you stay consistent in I'll use the term role for this question, when he's failed 3 times? Like, for example, I'm talking about like big fails, like started a business, started 2 businesses, had to take the money out the savings. How do you sustain you and being the feminine being in that relationship?
Well, this is why our femininity doesn't entail selfishness. You know, it definitely requires us to always, again, the feminine woman is resourceful. She's kind of the brains of the operation. So, you know, she's not going around pressuring her man to live above their means or to spend up all his money. You know, a feminine woman is happy living on her man's salary. So even if a few things go wrong here and there, they're able to have the financial planning together to where, you know, the family's not necessarily on the street, and she's realistic. Feminine women have to be realistic. You know, of course, life is not going to be fairy tales. Things are going to go left, you know, but this is why it's important as a woman to not put that pressure to do too much or keep up with the Joneses. So things might go wrong. However, you know, you're as a partner with him, it's your job to understand that, yeah, sometimes it may not go right, but you're going to be as smart as you can and take as calculated risks as you can and keep rocking. So,
did you have two parents?
no, I did not.
Wow. Mom or dad did you stay
I
with?
was raised technically by my mom.
Huh. And do you, how you now, how is that comparative analysis when you see your upbringing versus your role today as a woman?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the first part of the black.
What's your analysis now of your mother and your upbringing versus you as a woman today?
Mhm. Well, my mother was a great example for me. She was such a wonderful woman. However, my mom was part of my grandmother was the epitome of femininity. My grandmother wrote the book on femininity. I'm talking about elegance, class to the T, was married, had all her children with her husband, stayed married till he died. That was my grandma. Now, my mother is part of the rebellious generation who felt like women like my grandmother being a wife and homemaker, like that wasn't enough. So my mother was a generation that wanted to be more than a mother and wife, and they wanted to go make their own money and have hot girl summers. So me growing up the way I did, I was able to look at my grandmother, then I was able to look at my mother's outcome, see them both, and kind of take the best out of both of their lifestyle choices and kind of put it into the balanced woman that I've become today. I got to see both ends of the spectrum and how they both end up. And after analysis, it's like, mama, I love you, but that whole independent, I don't need no man thing is not it. So now I'm able to take that balance and put it into perspective for the modern day feminine woman today. So.
And you mentioned independent woman. Is there such a thing?
Not really. Now that you say it like that, it's kind of like fake independence. Like when you have the baby toy where they have the steering wheel in the car and they think they're driving, but they're not really driving. Just make it feel like driving. That's what that is.
Wow. So when a woman say, I don't need a man, what is that? And feel free to call in. By the way, they don't call in when there's a woman here, but when there's a male guest, oh, they call in like 9,000. So don't.
All right, y'all.
So is that fake when a woman says, I don't need a man? What is that representing?
It's a defense mechanism when she can't get the man that she thinks she needs or the man she thinks she deserves. The defense mechanism. Yeah, like you ever seen like if you flex something new in front of somebody broke and they're like, oh, I was gonna get that, but I ain't like it. Shut up. No, you couldn't afford it. You know, so it's the same with women. They'll say, oh, I don't want to be married. You're lying. Yes, you do. You just feel like you won't get it, or you feel like you won't get the man that you want. But you know, they'll sit and talk and say they're independent inside of a home that a man built. So there's no such thing as us as women being independent from men. It's false. It's a facade.
That's a great answer. 423. We got a first caller. They calling in now. I challenge them. Hey, what's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, good, man. What you got?
So I see you got the beautiful lady on there. She giving us some insight, you know, trying to, I guess, educate these young men out here. I do have a question.
Yeah, she's listening.
All right. So one thing she said that I kind of didn't agree with, she said that a masculine man is going to tell you get out the way, and then a feminist man is going to be like, oh, look to you as to what should I do next. I agree with the feminist thing, but I think we kind of use the word masculine and kind of misplace it. I feel like if a man is securing himself, you know, securing who he is, then he's not necessarily going to have to tell you, get out of my way. He's going to understand that the woman's here to help, the woman's here to aid, you know, instead of just, oh, get out of my way, let me do it. Because, I mean, men can fall on their face.
That's a fine line. That get a lot of men into trouble. Because guess what? Once you look to her once, you got to look to her twice. And that's how a lot of men, that's a slippery slope and a dark rabbit hole. And sometimes it's best to not even open it up. Again, nothing I say applies to everyone. Okay, everyone
Right.
is. What I am saying is that for a healthy masculine man, most of the time he does not want, nor does he need that, nor does he want to open up that can of worms.
Right. Can I have like a little rebuttal against that, I guess?
Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Okay. What I would say to your comment would be, our relationship is a two-way street. You know, man and woman, two people. I can't be successful as a man, you know, really out here in the world without a woman. It says in the Bible, a man who finds wife finds a good thing. You know, it refers to wisdom and knowledge as a woman. You know, and I feel like women provide some of those things, and I feel like a man that is once again securing himself, I'm not so much worried about opening up a can of worms. I mean, if I'm getting in a relationship and I'm a man, like I said, I'm securing myself, I'm willing to take the challenge to be able to listen and hear what a woman has to say. You know, men had to be raised by women. Women had to nurture, had to give advice, had to give, you know, certain things like that. So it's kind of the same thing, but you're just dealing with a person that you want to build your own life with, build your own empire with, as Fred would say, you know?
And don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying, oh my God, women should never, ever have an opinion. But somebody has to be the final say so. McDonald's does not have two general managers. They're going to have a manager and an assistant manager. Nobody has two managers of the same rank. It's impossible.
And don't get me wrong. I do understand that the man is going to be the lead. He's going to be the head of the household, you know, and the woman's like, I do agree with what you said submissively. Being submissive, like you said, we kind of take it in, well, women today kind of take it and misuse it. Oh, I'm just kowtowing to a man. I'm just going to do whatever he say, this, that. It's really just about understanding what can you add to the situation to make it, you know, work more smoothly. If in this situation it can cause for you to be quiet, okay, well then you got to be quiet at this time. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this, sir. What would you need? What would a woman's answer to that need to be to suffice for you? If you go to a woman and you say, what can you bring to the table? What answer are you looking for from her?
Me personally, I'm looking for a genuine answer for sure. So something that tells me that she really cares, or that she really understands about, that she really thinks about.
It's very specific. When you as a man look at a woman and tell her, what are you bringing for me? I want specifics. What answer are you looking from her? Like very specific.
Let's see. What was my specific answer? I mean, specific, what I'd be looking for. In my case, personally, you know, I'm an entrepreneur. I you know, support myself. Many different avenues. I would want her to be saying, what can I do to help you grow? Help you grow within whatever I'm doing. So if I'm working with kids, and if I'm working with sports, and I'm doing this, doing that, I want her to be able to say, what can I do to chip in and to help and to make it grow? I want her to be able to see the vision that I'm giving her, the vision that I present her with, and I would like to see what would be some of her, I guess, what would be some of her initiatives, you know, to help towards that. Was that specific enough? I don't know.
I mean, I get it. That's your answer. I was just curious.
Okay. Well, I mean, and then I'll get off the call. But one more thing I did want to chime in on is that what did Fred say? He said, you see, this is really brilliant. As a woman, you know, first date or whatever, he was like, how do you know, deal with that on the first date? A woman that can come to the first date, you know, looks beautiful, you know, looks amazing, y'all sitting there, like you said, just sipping on her wine, but she's quiet. That's very intriguing to a man like me, of course. Well, not of course, but specifically me, whatever. That's very intriguing because that tells me not only is she ready to listen, but she's ready to see what I have to say. You know, now she's trying to see, okay, well, let me read this man a little bit. Let me see what he's bringing to the table. Let me see what he's talking about, yada yada. And to hear another woman say that, and to hear another woman think like that, that's kind of it's rare. It's rare to find that, you know, somebody that can just sit there and be like, okay, well, let me be interested in what he has to say, or let me pick through and see what he has to say, because that's very honest. If a woman was doing me like that, I'm probably telling her everything. You know, this is my success. This is where I graduated from. This is what I've done. This is my this is my net worth, and this is the kind of conversation I'm going to give her. But she's sitting there being quiet. She ain't said nothing the whole time. I thought that was very interesting to hear. Like I said, another woman say that.
Yeah, that's dope. I appreciate that.
Nah, but like I said, y'all keep going. Y'all keep doing good. Kings and Queens, and then like I said, Fred, we want to see that Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence fight.
Right.
I think Earl really don't even want to fight at 147 anymore. I feel like he really want to go up a little bit, go up a little bit, so he wants to drain his body down so much. And I mean, we saw what he did with Danny. I mean, everybody thought Danny was going to be this puncher, this and that. But I mean, realistically, he ate Danny up.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even a fight, realistically. I wouldn't want to see him fight Canelo yet, but I would definitely like to see him, go up in weight and maybe, find some competition, find something that's going to make it look not so easy, because he made that Danny fight easy as can be.
Right.
But all right, see y'all.
Appreciate
Have a good night.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Are you a sports fan? Because is that attached to Grace, being a sports fan?
Oh no. I can follow a game. I'll be at the game looking cute. Make the wings. I can make the wings, some fries, celery.
832, what's up?
Hello to the chat.
Oh, hey, what's up, Monica?
Greetings, Goddess. You are very, very beautiful, and I'm sure the guys are loving you. I just called to say one thing. I agree with everything, because the guys are saying, they want the women to call in. So I agree with everything you are saying, Goddess, except one thing. And of course, we could just have a difference in opinion. For me, submission is, a woman being in her femininity and all of that. But I also feel that men also have to, at sometimes, be submissive. And let me use the example of the co-pilot and the pilot. As the woman, as the co-pilot in the relationship, there are going to be times where the pilot either falls asleep, or he's just he's taking a detour unnecessarily. He's just doing things, and is detrimental to the flight, or we may be getting ready to crash. As the co-pilot, sometimes I have to step in and say, hey, let me steer this real quick, because this is not what's going on. Maybe I see something that he doesn't see, or whatever the case may be. I just feel like sometimes the co-pilot does need to step in every now and then, and not just sit back and let him crash the airplane.
And that's okay, long as you still in his plane, taking his route. Holla if you hear me.
But if we're getting to the same destination, that's one thing. But if we're getting to that destination and his route, let's say his route has rain, for lack of a better explanation. If his route has rain and my route has clear blue skies, I feel like as a woman, just part of being a team player, I should be able to step in, even in my femininity, be able to step in and say, hey, this way is a better route. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But that's just my opinion. But everything else, Goddess, I am in 100% agreement with.
Right. Yeah. And I got you, sis. But even if you do, you can't change the route without consulting with him first. You see, you might not know, he might not have air traffic set up in this other route you're talking about. Their airport, their lane might be full. So even still, it is okay as feminine women, of course, to have suggestions. That's another part of the beauty of having us around, is our intuition, our intelligence. However, you still got to consult with him before you change the route, or for you. So, either way, it equals submission. And I do agree that there will be certain times where a man has to be submissive to a woman in a way. But it's definitely not in the same way we're submissive to them.
No, definitely not the same way, and it definitely wouldn't be, do what I say. That's not, because I'm looking at the chat. That's not what I mean when I say a man has to be submissive. When I say a man has to be submissive, I mean in terms of sometimes the woman, as a woman, part of our femininity is to move in places that our man cannot move sometimes. And at that point, he may have to sit back and just say, I'm going to let my woman do her thing, because this is where she is better suited. And this is where she does her thing. And I'm just going to sit back. Again, he is the man, but as the woman in her femininity, she has she has the range to move in certain places that a man does not.
Yeah, the woman, you know, the woman is sealed. The woman don't make the deal; she sealed the deal.
Facts. I agree.
Yeah, I'm with you.
100% agree. But that's my caller. Goddess, you are beautiful, and we would love to have you back in the chat.
Thank you. I appreciate you, sis.
Bye bye.
Can you see the chat, by the way?
No.
It's in the comment. Can you see comment on your screen? Click comment. Do you see it? Tell me what you see on your screen.
Oh, now I see them. But then if I put the comment, then I can't see you.
Oh, no, I just wanted you to know that people were having a real-time conversation in real time. You know what I mean? So
okay.
Let you know you're not in here alone. So you can see the pros and the cons. It's definitely more men in here, but we got Reggie Owens on the line. What's up, Reg?
What's up? I'm stealing all type of kisses while she leaned forward to that screen. She is beautiful. And Patty Dean, thank you for bringing up on here. But can you put your feet up to be kissing for you? No. But yeah, I want to get into like this comment and this question that I always bring up with like a lot of my female friends. And when it comes to submission, it's a lot that goes into kind of like women's acceptance of it and how it runs through their heads. But in this like new state of things to where, you know, men are kind of always at the helm of things, being the providers and things like that. But as society has shifted to where you're seeing more women who become, like you speak about your mother and grandmother, where you have more women getting out here, they're finding their own independence. But even in relationships in the household, you find a lot of times where women are bringing in the money. Can women in that type of situation separate themselves as being maybe high-level people within the corporate realm of things, being kind of the sole monetary providers in a relationship, and not bring that aspect of them being leaders out there in the work world and just being in a role of a woman and setting that aside to where they're not using economics as a means of determining the position in the household? What do you think about that?
Well, you know, I think that if I was to use a screwdriver to, you know, hit some nails into the wall, that it wouldn't work right. It definitely wouldn't work as well as a hammer would to do that. So what happens is when the woman becomes the breadwinner or the economic leader, it's unnatural. Point blank period. Certain things are not necessarily up for our debate. It's unnatural for the woman to be the breadwinner. However, I do understand that in 2020, that is a reality. But most of the time, when you do see those pit bull in a skirt type, very aggressive, get money women, you will not necessarily see them with very masculine men because, again, masculine men usually require a woman in which he can be her first priority. But if she is big in her career and making all the money and the family depends on her to support, now her husband and her family is no longer first. Her job is first. So that usually means her being with a more feminine man, because masculine men, if he say, I need you here, there is no, I got to go ask my boss. There is none of that. It's no, baby, you ain't going to ask for permission if I need you. So women like that, they can have a man, but it will probably not be a man that's very masculine. Usually women like that do better with more of a daddy daycare type guy, the type of guy that's okay with picking the kids up from school and going to the PTA meetings. What works for that couple works for that couple.
Yeah, no, I love your answer because that tends to be right. Because I like women who be out there who get their money, but relationship wise, we tend to conflict just based on what you're saying. They tend to want to be still in this dominant role based on their position in society as far as the work society, and that tends to where they come short. But and it's funny because as you know, where they accept being in this role, wanting to be in control of every aspect of you know, everything that surrounds them. When they get in relationships, these things tend to kind of go, you know, they flee them. And then as life, you know, progresses, these women have to come against this kind of newfound wisdoms of rewriting everything and changing everything to where they let one aspect ruin a great portion of their lives. So yeah, no, I like your answer because it kind of, not saying that it's something I agree with, but that's kind of what I've always seen. And I know a lot of my female friends, like I said, I deal with a lot of chicks who kind of are up in that kind of realm. I like intelligent women, but when it comes to their love life and relationships, those things don't work out just based on, not saying, because women take that word submissiveness and it has kind of a negative thought that runs through their minds and they run away from it. But it could be generational, on those gaps or whatever, and as society shifts as well. But that's all I got. But you're beautiful as hell, and I'm gonna be pushing the screen, looking at you, doing all type of nasty shit. No, I'm just playing. But let me get out of here. But great to see you on here.
To your
freeze the camera screen.
Any response to that?
Yeah, I was going to say, to add on to his point, since it's unnatural for the woman to be the economic leader and the breadwinner, 9 times out of 10 women are going to abuse it, because subconsciously she's going to resent the man, because this is not how it's supposed to go. We cannot fight divine order. We can't fight God. Too many times we try to play God in the wrong way. And we try to rewrite things that is not up to us to rewrite. So this is why when the woman is in position like that, trust and believe every opportunity she has, she gonna let it be known that she bought this house.
Wow.
Let it be known. And the minute you piss her off, she gonna be quick to tell you to get out and have your stuff. But men don't normally abuse that role because that's natural for him. Okay, for a man to have that power and be in that position is his God-given role. So for most men, it's not even something that they look at like, oh, I want to abuse this. It's more so a natural reaction for them. But when you give that same power to a woman, 9.5 times out of 10, better believe you're going to hear about it every chance, because that's just not how it's supposed to go.
Mike Weary the Great says hypergamy won't allow women to date down.
He said he what?
He said hypergamy. How you pronounce that word? Hypergamy. Hypergamy, like a woman who.
Oh, I hate that word.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Elaborate.
Literally every woman wants to practice hypergamy. So hypergamy just means if I'm working class and I marry someone in the upper middle class, that's hypergamy. It's just marrying someone a class above you. And it's like, I don't understand, because that's why I try to tell the women, listen, baby, you got to look good. And I just don't see enough sisters looking good enough for everyone to want to practice hypergamy. Nobody want to date the garbage man. Nobody want to date the warehouse worker. Well, I'm sorry, but you look like you could work at a warehouse too. So therefore, you can't say you don't want to date the warehouse worker. That's why I'm not a teacher of hypergamy. I don't teach that to women. I teach them, you just need to get a man. Okay, just get a man, please. We cannot all be sitting here turning our nose up to the garbage man. Like, just get a man. If women want hypergamy to be a norm for Black women, that is something that we can probably accomplish in maybe 2 or 3 more generations. But that's going to take us coupling up, getting married, and building that generational wealth so that can become a norm. But that cannot be the norm right now, especially when the women are not putting in enough effort to ask for that. So I like that hypergamy term. I think it's overused. Everybody wants to do it, and no one is aware of the effort. Then when you say be feminine, you know, take care of yourself and be quiet, then it's like, oh, I can't do that, but everybody want to practice hypergamy. I hate that. I think that really holds us back, actually.
Wow. I want to jump back to that, but Patty Dean, who you've been in, she's not behind you. It was on the screen. The question. No. I know I'm messing with you. She wants to know, where can we get your book?
You can get my book at my website, Sixthegoddis.com. It's called The Black Woman's Ultimate Guide to Reclaiming Femininity. And on the cover here, you can see my 4 mothers. So on the cover, you'll see my mother here. and this is my grandmother here, and this is my great grandmother. And so the cover of the book is meant to, oh, and excuse me, I need to get a feeling. I got a nail appointment. Don't mind me with my nails. Get it to me, please. Thank you. On the cover, you can kind of, what I wanted to portray is from it getting like from darkness to lightness is kind of the progression of femininity and the reclaiming of that for us as Black women from my great grandmother. Elijah, you got to be kidding me. From my great grandmother all the way to me. So, you know, I think it's great for the fellas to read the book because we need the men. Like, men can't sit and be like, these women are not submissive and they're not feminine. Well, we're going to need you to educate yourself on femininity, just like we're having to if you want that. If you want it, we need to see you support it, because whatever the men want is what women do on the low. They won't tell you that. But whatever the women think the men like, they do it, no matter how much it costs or no matter how hard it is. So if we see more brothers do things like reading my book and paying attention to other femininity influencers and learning how to support Black women in their femininity, you'll see more of it. So I really tell my story of my journey, kind of how I started femininity, how I got it back, and why it's important to get it back too. And I use my example and examples of the women in my family to share that story so it can help inspire other women to take their journey too. So it's a great read for the men and the women. I don't want the fellows to think that, oh, it's a book just for the chicks. Like, no, we need you guys supporting this. You know, we need your help. So, and excuse me while I have to plug in my phone because it's about to die. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Thank you. I heard you mention Elijah. So you have a son?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you balance the how does that work with your relationship with your son as opposed to a man that you're in love with?
I don't understand the question.
So like your femininity, how does that work as a mother? How does that affect how do a mother-son relationship benefit from your femininity?
Oh, I mean, it really is. I honestly feel bad for my son. And I give him disclaimers a lot. Like, I hope you don't grow up and try to find a woman like your mama. I said, because this is not normally how it goes. I'm like, so, because I cater to him. I have a very good balance between catering to him and you'll be all right. You know, sometimes it's catering, sometimes, and that's the balance. I think a lot of time with young boys, so many Black men can literally go their whole lives and never experience femininity from a Black woman, starting from their mom. Mama was cussing them out and going upside their head from the beginning. So then when they grow older, if they do experience a feminine woman, it can be offsetting to them. It can be like, it make him think the woman is fake or running game on him or that she's weak. So I'm training him up now to have it be normal to have a feminine woman and how she would interact with him. So the way I do it is I cater to him. You know, I don't make him be doing all the housework, and I give him masculine duties to do, and I give him positive reinforcement and talk to him nice. I want him to get used to that. So that way, if he grow up and come in contact with a bulldog or a masculine Mandy, he's like, bitch, please. Okay, I don't even play that. My mama don't talk to me like that. I don't think you gonna be able to do it either, baby. You got me messed up. So I just train him to make feminine women normal for him. I want that to be his normal, his standard, so that anybody that come at him with all that sideways, he's like, no, baby. Like a woman with her father. What a father, they say they want to treat their daughter well, so she knows how a man's supposed to treat her. A woman should do the same thing for her son.
Gotcha.
So that way he knows the way a woman's supposed to treat him. So, and by me being more feminine in my interaction with him, it makes him be more masculine. So his little 12-year-old masculine abilities are totally activated because I give him the space to do that. You got to give your son space. I let him make decisions. Sometimes I let him take the lead or problem solve, because that leadership is a muscle that he has to build. So I teach him how to make those decisions with me, and then show him of me not beating him up if he does make a mistake or make the wrong decisions. That way, when he grows up, he's not afraid to lead a woman out of the fear of failure.
Gotcha. What are your thoughts on the white liberal movement, or is there such thing as a white liberal movement that invades Black women?
Yeah, it's called projection, you know, and you know, just like when you're looking to harvest a field, you're going to go get a tool that can get it done faster. And so white women have always been oppressed by their men. And so Allie grew up watching her dad oppress and torture her mom. So then Allie was like, oh my God, we can be more than wives, because they watch their naturally sociopathic white men oppress their women. So then they're like, we really want to get under this oppression of our men, but we're not strong enough to do it. I know, we'll get Black women. So then here go Black women minding our business with our men, who we have always ruled alongside of, our men who have never been threatened by our success or our greatness. Never in the history of the world have Black men oppressed their women the way white men have oppressed theirs. So now here we are as Black women, mind our own business, and here go the white women. You know what, guys? You can be more than a wife, and you don't need those men. They're oppressing you. And Black women was like, yeah, you're right. They're oppressing us. And so then we ended up leaving our own men to go help Allie. And then the plot twist was, Allie don't tricked us out our man. Allie been getting oppressed by Timmy. And now she done told us that Tyrone is no good, made us neglect Tyrone, and then she swooped in and got Tyrone. I'll be damned. We should have minded our business. And this is why I encourage Black women to fall back and do less. Who cares? That's Allie daddy that's a sociopath, not your daddy. Black men make the best fathers and the Black husbands. These women made you abandon your own men, say you didn't need them, and then swooped in and took them right from under you, because you wanted to get in something that was none of your business. Everything don't gotta be a struggle. As Black women, we are so accustomed to struggle, even when we're not being oppressed, we'll still let someone tell us that we are. Raising your children is not oppression.
Raising your children is not oppression. It's a blessing. Right. Charlie Love has a question. He says, I don't know if anyone asked, but how do you feel? Does she feel T.I. was wrong?
For what?
When he said the thought prevention, I'm sure that's what he's talking about.
Yes, he's wrong, because he make thoughts. How you gonna make thoughts and then want to have thought prevention? So you don't want somebody up on your daughter, but you doing it to other people's daughters. Please have a seat.
So what do you? I'll ask after this guest. 682, what's up?
Hey, man, I fully agree with a lot of what she's saying. You know, and I feel like, you know, as Black people, we as a collective, we have to do a better job of getting ourselves organized. And a lot of it is due to the lack of information. And I think to a certain extent, Black information isn't cohesive because everybody want to be the leader when the code is the leader. And because we don't have enough, well, we getting a lot of people on code, but we have no penalties yet for code breakers. And, you know, I feel like we almost to the corner of turning that corner. And I feel like as Black men and women, once we turn that corner to where we're penalizing code breakers, we're going to shoot up like a rocket. And I think that that's a part of the reason why we get so many distractions, I would say. Because once we start penalizing our own people, And it's not that the police are doing anything. It's that when you steal, this happens. You know what I mean? If you're not stealing to bring it back to us, and when you take away from us, there is a known penalty throughout Negrodom. That's when we're going to shoot up like a rocket, because that's what made us thrive when we were so-called, you know, segregated. You know, I just wanted to see what she felt about that, because, you know, a lot of the things that create the fake bravado in between black women and black men, as far as who's got the better job, who's, you know, because at the end of the day, if we are raising our children, we make 200,000. You know, this is our son, this is our family, and once we get back to that as a collective, the outliers have to stay outside. They never get to come in, because we're a community. And, you know, because it's always going to be, you know, rats or negativity and people who just don't think that the code that everybody else living by, they can manage to live by it. And once those penalties are start to be exercised in public, black people are going to turn the corner quick, because if we catch you over here at the Chinese hair store and not at Susie's, okay, keep going over there. But everything that we benefit and we trying to put together doesn't apply to you anymore. You know, they only take 2 examples, and then you really got something. I wanted to hear what she thought about that. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I was talking about it the other day. I say, you know, if you choose not to support your people, if you choose to marry out, date out, that's on you. But once somebody decide to do that, black people have to take them up out our business and from up under our protection. And to let people know, if you decide to step out, stay there. You know, no fence straddling. If you go and you do that and you're giving what you have to people outside of our community, do not get in our business no more. Do not mention our name. Do not bad talk us to your non-black counterparts or spouses or whatever else. If you get shot by police, do not come to black women to save you. If you get shot by police, do not go to black men to save you. If you need protecting, do not go to a black man to save you if you with somebody outside your race. I agree. I think that if you want, because people make it seem like black people, like we ain't shit and black men don't protect black women and black women hate black men. I tell you what, if you really feel like that, leave us alone then. You know, but the people that don't want to invest in their people, don't want to be with their own people, they want to spend their money, spend their love, spend their relationship out, but then still want to speak on us, be in our business, and if and when things hit the fan for them personally, want us to rally for them. I agree. If you're not rocking with us, you get nothing from us. You're cut off.
Great answer. There was a we gotta get you out of here. This was a fast hour.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Right. Where does religion fit in? And is the term marriage important? Is legally married important, or is it just a relationship itself?
I think it depends on the individual. I know for me personally, I need my name on that paperwork, because something happened to you. I don't need to walk in the hospital and they say, ma'am, who are you? And I say his lover. They're going to say, ma'am. They're going to say security. You know, so I need, for me, if I'm going to dedicate my whole life to you and I know what I'm going to bring to the table as your woman, I need my name on that paperwork. I need it in blood, me personally. But, you know, to each his own on that. I think that is going to be based upon what the man wants. And, you know, it's best for him to find a woman that's with whatever he chooses for us, what he wants to do in regards to marriage. I don't think there's a blanket answer for that necessarily.
Where does religion tie into relationships? Is it, I see God in your name.
Whatever religion a man is. If he Muslim, assalamu alaikum. If he Christian, thank you, Jesus.
What give the barbershop some dating tips. Oh, we got to get DB in here. I'm sorry. Go ahead. DB, call in. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Some dating tips.
Wait, you said you're getting DB in?
Yeah, he's gonna call in, but I was gonna ask, can you he closes the guest. Yeah. I'm sorry, you thought he was waiting. What some dating tips for men?
Dating a feminine woman is don't ask her for anything. Don't ask her, where do you want to go? Don't ask her, send me a picture. Don't ask her, can you meet me halfway? Do not ask her for anything. Feminine women are delicate, and it's a subconscious programming. Okay, even by you asking her for a photo, or even for you asking, it puts her on a defense, and you're gonna, the femininity, you're not gonna get it. So the key to dating is take control. Do not ask her anything. Feminine women observe. So it's the man's job to take lead, and it's her job to react to his leadership. So you tell her where you're going. You show her that she's good. Make sure that her guard never has to go up with her. As women, we hold on to what we see in the beginning. So if in the beginning you ask her for things, you're really tainting her vision of you. So that's my best advice. Wait until she starts offering to do things on her own. When she starts offering to send pictures, offering to do this, then you can receive it. But that's when you'll know she's comfortable with you. But the biggest mistake I see men do when they're dating feminine women is they are not protecting well enough. And protecting means everything. If she got to catch a cab to where you are, you're covering the cab fare. It's little things like that. The safer she knows that she is with you in the beginning, the better it will set the tone for the whole relationship. With feminine women, you give to her and she gives back, she multiplies. Reciprocity is key. But if you come to her with, if she gets any type of inkling of your hand is out or you are not doing for her, feminine women are a treasure. I was looking at someone the other day and it was like majority of the men were saying that they're single because they don't feel like there's women feminine enough and attractive enough. So I tell my ladies, you got your femininity on point, you're attractive. No. You are a treasure. It's rough out here for these men. We in the city girl era. So if you are a woman and you got that together, you're the treasure. So allow yourself to be treated as such. Always allow a feminine woman to keep her guard down. Set this tone. Set the tone, especially in the beginning. Take lead, take charge. Do not be afraid. She can sense the fear and she'll sense the lack of confidence. This is how you keep her wet. Take that lead. Do not ask her for nothing. You want to show her that you give. Feminine women receive. They like men that are generous. So they want to see you take the lead, where all she got to do is show up, be feminine, and enjoy you, get to know you. Pretty soon, y'all spend time together. She'll learn the way you move, and she'll learn how to reciprocate according to what she observed from you. But too many times, the men want to move with the feminine women, the rare feminine women, the same way they move with the rest of masculine mandies, and I'm just as good as the men, and I can do it too, and I got it. And they're used to dealing with women who are in their masculine energy, constantly trying to prove and impress the men, not knowing that clearly hasn't worked out for you. So you have to know how to shift and move different when you are courting a feminine lady. It requires different things.
Well said. And I was waiting on DB to call, and he said a moment, but where can people get a hold of you? We see your name on the
that's my brand name.
But you also have a book, you have a podcast, all this.
Yeah, you can get my book at my website. My website is spelled just like the name on there, Sixthegoddis.com. I have a podcast. It is called African in American. And it's a very candid, random podcast. I talk about all type of things on there. We'll talk about money, then relationships, then we're talking about spirituality and parenting. And we cover so many things, but everything is covered from a very strict, non-segregated, pro-Black persona and point of view. And it's very raw and uncut. It's not foo-foo, fee-fee. It's not we are the world. It is blackity black and very black specific. And I feel like it's what I wanted to see when I would listen to certain things. And so many things sounded so fluffy and watered down. And I'm like, no, we need someone that's going to not be worried about, you know, not offending white people. And it's going to actually say what need to be said. So you'll get a really good blackity black perspective on there that I think a lot of us need to hear. So you can just search African in American. It's on Spotify, Google Play, it's on iTunes. So you can, and it's not African American, it's African in American, as well as my book, The Black Woman's Ultimate Guide to Reclaiming Femininity, on my website. Follow me on Instagram at Sixthegoddis, and on Facebook at Sixthegoddis.
We genuinely appreciate you coming in tonight, and
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great to have you back.
Yes, anytime. Let me know.
Appreciate you coming in. Thank you for coming in and spending time with us.
Have a good night.
That was fun. That was fun. So there you have it, man. Yeah, feel free to call in. DB. I don't know what DB was doing. Hey, what's up?
I'm calling in. I love y'all barbershop, but I'm calling in to call y'all.